Exactly 3 years and 1 day after the GTA Trilogy's disastrous launch, Rockstar has deployed a patch that allows players to restore the game to be closer to its original PS2 version. While this update is welcome news for fans languishing over the state of these revered games, there's a lot more than meets the eye than simple bug fixes. So buckle up as we take yet another look at the GTA Trilogy and how it's faring on the Nintendo Switch. Normally, this is a part of the video where I'd ask you to like and subscribe, but instead I wanted to talk about Movember. What's It Like is throwing its support behind my good friend Archie, who is leading the charge for Movember, which aims to take on mental health issues, suicide, prostate cancer, and testicular cancer. If you would like to know more or want to donate to his campaign, click on the card that's just popped up on your video. Now, let's get back to it. Firstly, and the most interesting part of this update, is that the Grove Street Games logo has been removed from each game in the trilogy. It's also interesting to note that this update comes exactly 1 day after the 3rd anniversary of the trilogy's release. While I can only speculate here, as Rockstar themselves have been rather reserved with a simple 2-sentence release note page, it does seem to indicate that there has been a service level agreement that most likely recently expired, allowing Rockstar to both remove Grove Street Games from the project and take back updates and control of the trilogy once more. There are rumours circulating that Rockstar is moving to distance themselves from Grove Street Games and will continue to support the GTA Trilogy moving forward. Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two, has also offloaded some high-profile studios as well, so this could be a strategy to clean house in order to focus on their larger franchises like the upcoming GTA 6 and Mafia, and fixing the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition could be a way of improving that legacy. It's also interesting to note that Rockstar Games now only credits Grove Street Games for adapting the definitive version, and if you click on the trilogy on the Grove Street Games website, it immediately redirects back to Rockstar, unlike every other game listing under their games page. Now, all rumours and speculation aside, this latest update moves the trilogy closer to the better received Netflix version of the games, with the major feature being the ability to switch back to classic lighting, moving the game closer to the PS2 version's aesthetics. Classic lighting still uses modern engine improvements like reflective surfaces on cars and puddles, and it usually has a more aggressive hue overlay that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. San Andreas doesn't seem to benefit as much as GTA 3 and Vice City from this update, but that could be because it has a slightly better looking environment in both its original and updated form. The lighting can be switched on and off on the fly, and it doesn't require reloading or re-rendering, allowing players to quickly change back and forth depending on their preferences. Outside of the lighting, there are many updates and bug fixes, too numerous to cover in just one video, as well as some of them haven't even been discovered yet. But the weapon wheel overlay is finally fixed and fits the full screen, something pointed out in my last video that many players were also annoyed by. There were many models and texture fixes, with Rockstar claiming that nearly all models in the game are now fixed, including the horrendous bike riding animations. And while there are still some frame rate dips on the Switch, they appear to be fewer and further between. There is still the appearance of blurred textures under and around cars and when the camera moves, but this effect is more subtle than in previous versions. Running and gunning animations are also now fixed, making the game have a better level of polish and not having your character's arm wildly swaying. All of these bug fixes work well to provide a similar experience to what players were expecting it was going to be at launch, but there is still a long road ahead. There's also a huge update to environmental effects in all 3 games, including re-adding fog, which makes the world look more immersive and no doubt improves the performance. Updated rain and weather effects now look much better, and fire and smoke effects have been improved as well as explosions. With both original and classic lighting, the games do seem sharper overall, and while I can't quite put my finger on it, it does feel like a more enjoyable experience, or maybe that's just the GTA fan in me having a renewed spark of hope for the trilogy. And at the end of the day, I guess that's what this patch might do for the fan base. Restore a bit of hope in the definitive edition coming back under Rockstar's umbrella, and returning the trilogy to its former glory by slowly undoing the very upgrades that stripped it of the things that made them so special in the first place. Who would have thought the best thing we could have done for the GTA trilogy is left it alone? Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. The best way that you can support What's It Like is by liking and subscribing. And for the month of November, I'm donating all my channel earnings to my good friend Archie's Movember campaign. So if you've just watched this video, you're already doing your part.